friends, Nibs again, out here in the garage, doing a little goofing around today, and been thinking about doing this little compilation, I guess you'd call it, a rundown of my Springer collection so far. And I know the first thing somebody's going to say out there in YouTube land is, well, what about the Daisy BB guns? Those are spring piston guns as well, but that's a topic for another subject, another complete video in my collection here. The video would be an hour long if I were to include those. This one's going to be probably pretty long as it is. I didn't even realize it, but I have been a busy boy as far as spring piston powered air rifles go. I don't have these in any particular order. I'm just going to run down through here, set them off to the side over here when I'm done talking about them. Maybe spend a minute on each one if that. But we'll run down through these, and I got a couple up here that are, well, at least that one in the back is kind of special. But all of these are actually really nice pellet guns. Some of them are kind of cheap and budget, but they all shoot really good. They all function really good. Some of them are very nice, very super accurate and very pleasant to shoot. Some are twangy and have a lot of recoil, but they're all fun, they're all accurate, and they all function like they're supposed to. So let's grab this first one here and get started. This is one of my most recent acquisitions, actually. This is the Diana Model 34 T06 Classic. A lot to say there, but it is a handful of gun, and it's a very powerful 177 caliber pellet gun. I cronied this one right at about 980 feet per second with 7 grain pellets, and it is a very nice gun, very accurate, very nice gun, very pleasant shot cycle. Just a tiny bit of twang on it. I haven't done anything to it yet, tarring up the spring or anything like that yet, so be something to work on over the winter. I've just been so busy here in this summertime, just haven't had time to really tear into any of these, but there'll be plenty of time over the winter. Alrighty, so next up on the lineup here, and again, I said this is absolutely no particular order or good to bad or anything like that. Just took them out of the cabinets over there and unbagged them, keep everything in gun socks to keep the stocks from getting banged up and to protect the metal from rusting, and it does a really good job. So what we have here is a Walther Force 1000, and I didn't really have high expectations for this gun, but being that it was Umarex Chinese Springer, but it actually is a very nice rifle. It shoots very nice. It has a lot of recoil. This is, well, I can say without any doubt, this is the most powerful Springer I have in my collection so far. This one is the only one that I have that actually exceeded 1,000 feet per second across my crony. This one was averaging about 1033. So very powerful, but it is actually very accurate. It's not as accurate as a Weihrauch or a Feinwerkbau or something like that, but it is a very accurate gun, and especially for a gun with that much power. Alrighty, what do we have here? Okay, this one is, I've read that these are a kind of a knockoff or a copy of those Diana Model 34s, and it looks very, very similar. So there are a few key mechanical differences, but overall I can see where people would think that this was a knockoff of those 34s. But what we have here is a Ruger Airhawk And actually this is the very first spring piston rifle that I ever bought, probably 12 or 13, 14 years ago. Bought it from a local sporting goods store that was going out of business called the Sports Authority. I got it. These were retailing for about $125 to $130 at the time, and I got this one for $86 out the door, including tax. So this one is quite powerful. Again, this is one of the higher end power wise in my collection. This one runs right along the same with the Model 34, right around 980, depending on the pellet you shoot out of it. And it's got some very good accuracy too. Again, not a Weihrauch or a Feinwerkbau or a Diana or anything like that, but it can hold its own. Definitely be minute a squirrel at 25-30 yards any day of the week. You're going to see a definite shift in my collection towards the Dianas, and probably not probably, but it is the most that I have of any one name brand of pellet gun. And then if you include the 2 Winchesters I have, there's no doubt that it's the most that I have of any one brand. But this one is a Diana Model 48, and this one has the distinction of being the only side lever in the collection. I don't have a single under lever yet. I'm gonna have to do something about that, but I did have one of those Chinese, kind of a knockoff of this one, but I did sell that one. But this is the Diana 48. Very powerful. I believe it was in the upper 800s, if I remember right, or mid 800s, shooting 7 grain pellets, and it is a very accurate rifle as well. Very heavy. It's not the heaviest one in my collection, but it is a very heavy Springer. Alrighty, what do we got next? What are we doing for time? We're going to end up being kind of long here. So this one is one of the Winchester Dianas I was talking about, and this one is a Winchester Model 435. And this one I bought used, but it was very lightly used. This is an older Diana model. It's got the T01 trigger in it, which is a very nice trigger. And this one was made in, I think it says 03 of 70. So this one, Diana only made rifles for Winchester for just a little over a year from what I've read. But this is every bit of as nice as any Diana you would buy, even though it has that Winchester name on it. So if you can find one of these 435, 425, anything with Winchester with a 4 in front of it like that, and it's one of these Diana Springers, you can get it at a reasonable price, I would not hesitate to grab one of these. They are every bit as accurate as any Diana Springer they ever made. So there's that one, Winchester 435. I do have one other one. I don't know where it is in this order here, but we'll get to it. All right, what is this one? This one, oh, this is one of my favorites. This is one of the very few guns in general and air rifles specifically that I ever bought brand new. This is a Weihrauch HW50S. This one does have the world-renowned record trigger. I added this peep sight. I do have the rear sight for it. I just took it off to kind of clean up the gun, but with this peep sight, I shoot better with this with the peep sights than I do with some of these other ones with the scopes on them. Easily. This is just such a gun. If I had to, it's hard to really say which one I would pick, but if I had to get rid of all of these except for one, this would be on the very short list of ones I would make the decision to keep or get rid of. But yeah, there you go. Weihrauch HW50S. I'd really love to get some more Weihrauchs, but that's the only Weihrauch I have in my collection so far. All right, what's next here? This is so this is another. Oh, this is my. They all kind of look. A lot of them look very similar, so it's hard to tell sometimes. But this is my Feinwerkbau model 124, and this is another superb rifle, just absolutely superb. If I had to make a short list of ones, if I had to get rid of one and keep just one or maybe two, the Feinwerkbau and the Weihrauch would just come down to a coin toss, really. The Weihrauch has maybe a little bit better trigger, but this Feinwerkbau, with the right pellets, will shoot every bit as good as that Weihrauch will. And it's just such a nice gun. It's got a very smooth, the cocking stroke, absolutely no noise. The shot cycle is silent. You'd think it was a single stroke pneumatic, as quiet as it shoots when you shoot that. So, and this one was made in the early 70s. Alrighty, only a handful more to go. I'm about halfway through. Yeah, let's see here. This one, what do we have here? This one is one of two Crosman model 3100s that I have. This particular one I bought used from a local shop, but it seemed to have had absolutely no use at all. It seemed to me anyway. Put a couple of drops of oil down the airport there, and it shoots like it's brand new. So I put a Williams peep sight on it just to do a little bit better than the rear sight that it had on there. And these are not nearly as good as the Feinwerkbau or the Dianas or anything like that, but quite a nice shooting little gun. Very accurate, good and powerful. Not uber powerful like those other ones, but 700 to 800 feet per second easily, no problem there. So that one is the one that I bought that was, you know, quote unquote used. This other one, this is my other Crosman 3100, and I actually still have the box for this one. This one was brand new unused, right out of the box. These were made by, and I'm going to say it wrong, but these were made back in the early 80s by a company out of Spain, Cometo, something like that. At first I thought these were made by Gamo, but somebody corrected me when I unboxed this one and showed it for the first time. And hopefully somebody can help me out with that name. I believe I'm close, Cometo or something like that. But you know, this one was brand new, Nope, you know, I got them backwards. This is the one that was used. That one with the peep sight on it, this one that was brand new. This one does just have just a little tiny bit of finish wear up here on the front. But other than that, the rest of it is just like brand new. And got a nice 3-to-9 scope on it, and shoots very nice. Alrighty, so those two are like identical, they're like twins. Alright, so the next one I have here is a Daisy model 120, and this one was also made back in the 80s. From what I've read, it was late 80s with these. These were made by Gamo in Spain back in the 80s for Daisy, and only for a short period of time too, so that this is kind of a limited production gun. They are a very short length of pull. You can see how short I am on that one, but they're very twangy. Not a lot of recoil. They're not a super powerhouse 600-700 feet per second. You know, they'd be good for small game though, and for a kid's first starter rifle. They're accurate enough to keep a kid interested in wanting to shoot more, and then you can move them up once they got the strength to pull one down to one of those other springers. But this one's got a really light cocking stroke, so it'd be a great gun for a kid's first springer when you're graduating them from either like a pump up 760 up or a Daisy up to a more real rifle, I guess you could say. So this next one's pretty cool. This one's a Webley Scott. What was the model number on this one? Mark 4. Okay, that's a Webley Scott Mark 4. And I do have the rear sight for this one too. I put a peep sight on it. I can't see to shoot to save my life from traditional open sights like that, so I always like to put a scope or a peep sight on these just so I can see, so I can shoot them more accurately. But this one's pretty cool. The stock is not in perfect condition. It's got a little bit of just crackling is what it is, not really wear, but just crackling in the finish. But I kind of like a gun that's got a little bit of character and patina like that, that it's just honest use and wear. This is a pretty accurate gun. If I did have one complaint about it, the trigger is pretty woeful, and I did take it apart, and there's really not a lot I could see that I could do without making some serious geometry changes, and then I might just ruin the rifle. But it does have a pretty heavy trigger, and it's pretty gritty. But if you do your part and manage that trigger, that nasty trigger, it will shoot and do a pretty good job for you. It's a great little sporting type springer. All right, got a couple more to go here. So what's this one? This one is another Diana. This one is a Diana Model 24, and this one is this one was made in 80. Again, this, I think it says 81. It says it was made in West Germany, and again, I asked for some help on this one. I'm not a historian by any stretch, but it says it's made in West Germany, and I believe the Berlin Wall came down in 89, so that would mean that this would have to be before 89, so I believe that says 81 there for production. But this is kind of smaller than the Winchester Model 34 or 435 that I have over there. But it's still a man-sized rifle. It's got some good power. It's not a honker like those ones, probably between 700 and 800 feet per second. So it's got plenty of power for small game. Plinking cans, really nice. But it's not such a honking stroke that it's going to ruin a bunch of scopes and stuff. And it's very nice, pleasant shot cycle on this one. All right, let's see, the last one down here on the ground, and then I got two up on the bench to look at, and then we'll wrap this guy up. I wanted to try to keep it under 20 minutes. So this one actually is another Winchester Diana. This is the Model 425, and this is a very much a youth-sized. It's got a very short length of pull, but it's not so small that a normal-sized man couldn't shoot this and shoot it comfortably. This one does have the distinction in my collection of being at this point anyway, the only 22 caliber Springer that I have. I have plenty of Crosman pump-ups and CO2s that are 22 caliber, but this is the only 22 caliber break barrel or spring action one that I have. And this one was also the Diana's, so I'm not sure when they would start. So this one is a 70s, 79 was the build date on this one, and this one says made in Germany. So I'm not sure when they would have started labeling them as made in West Germany and versus made in Germany. But I know after the Berlin Wall came down, they started calling it made in Germany again. So, but again, this is a youth-sized, and it's got a fairly easy cocking stroke, so it will be easily cocked by, you know, a young teenager or something along that lines. This one's pretty cool. It's got this little rubber bumper on here on the bottom, so when you set it down, you're not bumping against the stock, against concrete or whatever, the ground. All right, this one, I've had one of these and I've done videos on them before. This one doesn't actually belong to me, at least not right at this moment. But the other one that I had, I actually sold it. This one is a Slavia model 618, made in Czechoslovakia. Slavia is a subsidiary of the CZ Corporation, and these are pretty cool rifles. I actually did a video on this one. As of while I'm filming this, I haven't released it to the public yet, but it's very accurate. You know, just one big ragged hole across the garage here, even shooting from just the buckhorn sights. And this one here, it definitely is a spring piston rifle, but it is definitely an oddball out in this whole arena here. But it would be a complete spring piston collection, or my complete spring piston collection, if I didn't show you this one. And this one is the Eisenwork, and some places I've seen it listed as the Jewel, and sometimes I've seen it listed as the Gem, and that's just goes with the translation of the German word for jewel or gem. Some people interpret it, the word, as jewel, and other people interpret it as gem, and that's in different writings about this gun. I've seen it labeled both ways, but I'm pretty certain that either way you go with it there, the model number of this one was the Model 13. And I'm pretty sure this one also has the distinction that it is the only Springer that I have in the garage here that is a smooth bore, but it is still very accurate. It's unbelievably accurate, especially for being a smooth bore. So, but anyway, well, I went a little longer than I was hoping to go, but I hope you do enjoy the video. I only started kind of getting into this not even a year ago, about the time winter was starting last year, getting into air rifles in a bigger way, mostly because I was looking for something to do that didn't require me having to go out into the snow and the cold. And this has been a fun journey so far, and I am nowhere near done yet. But what do we have here? About 16 or 18 Springers so far, and I've got a couple more. I've got a couple Quackenbushes that are potentially on the addition soon, and I'm always looking on eBay for new ones that especially fixer-uppers. I like getting the fixer-uppers that I can put a new piston in. They listed as, you know, non-functional, and I'm handy enough. I can fix things like that. So, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more on all of these great rifles. Until next time, have a great day.